All right, let's talk about something we all experience every single day. You know what I'm talking about, that constant voice in your head, the narrator, the commentator, the one that just never stops. But have you ever stopped to ask, is that voice actually helping? Or what if it's the real source of most of our problems?
I love this way of framing it. It's like you've got this roommate living in your head, right? A roommate you never picked. And frankly, they're kind of terrible. They're the one complaining about the traffic, obsessing over what other people think, and playing a highlight reel of every single mistake you've ever made. This inner narrator, it can feel like this constant critical shadow you just can't shake.
Yeah, that is a heavy quote, I know, but it gets right to the heart of this whole thing. See, the idea here isn't that we're just victims of this voice. No, in a very real way, we're the ones who built the cage. We are the architects. We've actually built a system inside our own heads that causes us constant pain.
So where does this roommate even come from? Well, for our purposes, we're going to call it the personal mind. Think of it as the part of your brain that is completely 100% preoccupied with all your personal stuff. You know, your likes, your dislikes, your fears, your desires, all the me stuff. And look, this isn't just some quiet background noise. No way. This narrator is actively shaping your reality every second of the day. It's the filter, the lens through which you see everything. And what's it doing? It's constantly comparing what's actually happening to what it thinks should be happening. And that little gap, that comparison, well, that's where all the trouble starts.
Okay, so how on earth did we build this inner world of judgment and anxiety? I mean, it didn't just appear, right? It's a process, a habit, really, one we've been practicing our entire lives, and it all boils down to how we handle our experiences moment to moment.
It's actually a pretty simple process when you look at it. So, step 1, something happens. Anything. A sight, a sound, a feeling. Step 2, we immediately judge it. It's either, ooh, I like this, and we try to cling to it, or it's, ugh, I hate this, and we try to push it away. Every single time we do that, we store a little piece of that charged up energy inside us. And these stored patterns, they have a name, samskaras. They become the actual building blocks of our personal mind. This is the raw material that creates that annoying inner roommate.
But, and this is a huge but, here's the twist. The mind itself isn't the bad guy here. Not at all. It's an absolutely brilliant instrument. The problem is what we're using this incredible tool for. And that brings us to a really important distinction, a kind of split in how our mind can function.
I mean, look at this. This just captures the whole split perfectly. On one side, you've got the intellectual mind. This is the powerhouse, right? The mind that understands atoms, builds rocket ships, creates breathtaking art. It's this incredible tool for solving huge, complex problems. And then, you've got the personal mind, the one that takes all that same genius-level power and just wastes it. Squanders it on worrying about traffic, complaining about the weather, and replaying conversations from last Tuesday.
I mean, think about that. The exact same mental layer that Einstein used to figure out E equals mc squared, you and I are using to figure out how to get someone to like us. It's like our inner genius has been completely hijacked. We're using this supercomputer to analyze every tiny social interaction, to stress about things way outside our control, all in an attempt to make ourselves feel okay. It's kind of tragic when you think about it, a total misuse of our potential.
So, with all this hijacked brainpower, what's the personal mind so busy doing all day? Well, it's building a model, a super intricate, ridiculously detailed blueprint of how the entire world is supposed to be, according to it. And the problem is, this mental model is destined for a constant, knockdown, drag-out fight with reality, a battle it can never, ever win.
And what's so important to get here is that this model isn't based on, objective truth or reality, not even close. It's built entirely out of all those stored likes and dislikes we've been collecting our whole lives. It's basically a blueprint for your own personal comfort zone. It dictates exactly how the weather should be, precisely how your partner should behave, and definitely how that person in front of you should be driving.
And this is exactly why that whole model is just a setup for constant disappointment. Think about it. The universe is infinitely complex, right? The number of ways any single moment can play out is staggering. It's nearly infinite. But your little mental model, it demands one very specific outcome. The chances of reality perfectly lining up with your super narrow personal preferences are, let's be honest, pretty much zero.
So this is the big punchline. The cause of our suffering isn't reality itself. It's not the rain that makes you miserable. It's the fact that your mental model demanded sunshine for your picnic. The pain comes from the gap,
the friction between what is and what you're insisting it should be. The world's just doing its thing. The real problem is the battle you're waging against it inside your own head.
Okay, so if we're not consciously choosing to create all this drama in our heads, then where the heck is it coming from? Why doesn't that roommate ever shut up? The answer is kind of mind-blowing, and it completely reframes the whole problem.
Get this, scientists estimate that at least 95% of our thoughts are not created by us on purpose. They just happen. I mean, think about it. When you're driving or in the shower, are you consciously deciding, now I think I'll worry about that embarrassing thing I did 10 years ago? Of course not. The thoughts just bubble up. This inner chatter is an automatic process, just like your heart beating. It's just happening.
So here's a really powerful way to look at it. All those stored patterns we talked about, the samskaras. Think of them as trapped energy, and that energy needs to go somewhere. It wants to be released. So all those thoughts that your personal mind spits out all day, that's just the sound of that energy trying to escape. It's almost exactly like how your mind creates dreams when you're asleep to process the day. This is a waking dream, happening all day long.
Okay, so if we can't just flip an off switch on this thing, what are we supposed to do? Well, the first step isn't to fight the voice. It's not to argue with it or try to fix it. The very first step is much simpler. It's to change your relationship to it.
And this is the big alternative. Your personal mind's default setting is to compare every single moment to all that junk you've built up inside. But what if? What if you didn't do that? What if instead you compared the moment to nothing, to the vastness of the universe? When you compare it to the absolute nothingness that existed before you were here, suddenly any experience at all, even being stuck in traffic, is kind of incredible, isn't it? Suddenly gratitude starts to take the place of judgment.
So I want to leave you with this thought. That voice in your head, it's not you. It's a process. It's old energy releasing. It's a waking dream. So what would happen if you stopped identifying with it? If you stopped taking it all so personally? And instead, you just watched it, like you were the silent witness, just watching a dream unfold. What do you think would change then?